Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at this next summit, which is a collaborative effort between Social Football Summit and Italiacamp. The theme today is a story of sport transformation. But before starting this virtual event, I hope everyone is safe and really thank you for joining online. It's an unusual weather in Dubai, but now the sun is shining back again. My name is Cristina, Guida, Licata, and I'll be the moderator today. I have almost 2 decades of experience in marketing communication in premium and luxury industry. And I've been living in Dubai for almost 6 years. And I've really witnessed a remarkable growth in this country that has undergone across various spheres. Today, we'll discuss the importance of sport across different sectors and how this can really contribute to the growth of a country across the board. We're privileged today to have esteemed guests connected online, including His Excellence, the Consul General of Italy, Giuseppe Finocchiaro, who will share some insights shortly. And I would like to welcome him now. So thank you so much, Consul, to be with us today. Over to you.
Good morning. I would like to greet all the speakers and the attendees and thank Cristina, Guida, Licata for moderating this event and the organizers, particularly Leo Cisotta, General Manager of Italiacamp EMEA, for hosting this event today. I am glad that Social Football Summit, the only international B2B event in Italy on the football industry, has landed in Dubai. In the United Arab Emirates and Dubai, we register not only a great interest for football, including Italian football, but also attention for sports and a healthy lifestyle in general. Dubai and the United Arab Emirates are indeed establishing themselves as a global center for sports, with many international events and initiatives being organized here. And this offers many opportunities to Italian companies. Football is a great passion for our country and also a relevant, is not only a great passion for our country, but also a relevant productive sector, including an array of companies dedicated to either goods or services. Technology contributes to the dynamism and transformation of this industry, the main topic for discussion today. Initiatives like the Social Football Summit are relevant as they gather different institutions, organizations, and decision makers who contribute to shaping the football world. And I am very confident that the spirit of openness and collaboration that will mark today's discussion will offer sharp insights and interesting opportunities for business. Let me finally congratulate again Leo Cisotta and all his team for what they are doing at Dubai Hub for Made in Italy. Almost a year after its opening, the hub is contributing to a deeper understanding of the market in Italy, as well as supporting Italian companies in accessing and thriving in the United Arab Emirates and the Gulf region. Being able to count on partners like you is very important for institutions, and we look forward to further collaboration in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Consul General, for your intervention. Now, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the organizer of this summit. We have Massimo Tucci, Director of Social Football Summit, and Leo Cisotta, General Manager of Italiacamp Euro, Middle East and Africa. But before I pass over to Massimo, just a short video for introduction. Thank you very much. Let's welcome Massimo Tucci. Over to you, Massimo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cristina. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Even on such a difficult day in Dubai due to the rains, it's an important day for all of us at Social Football Summit. For 6 years, we have been organizing an international event on football industry in Italy, in Rome at Stadio Olimpico. And as you have seen, we are working on the 7th edition. At the same time, we have launched the new format as Next Summit, through which we aim to be present in the most important international contexts. Being here in Dubai, in the heart of the Middle East, therefore represent an important milestone in our internationalization process, The United Arab Emirates has emerged as a global powerhouse in attracting investment, particularly in the realm of sport. With a strategic vision, the UAE has not only transformed its own sporting landscape, but has also become a magnet for international investors seeking new opportunities in this dynamic sector. The UAE and the Middle East are definitely a premier destinations for international sporting events, for innovation and sustainable growth. I would like to thank you, Leo Cisotta, and the entire Italiacamp team, all the speakers who have accepted our invitation, our companies Go Project and Social Media Soccer, our CEO Gianfilippo Valentini, and once again, all of you. Thank you, Cristina. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Massimo. And now a short introduction also from Leo Cisotta, General Manager of Italiacamp, Europe, Middle East and Africa. Over to you, Leo.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Cristina. Thank you, Massimo. Let me say that it's something fantastic to be here today in Dubai, also in a virtual way, because like you know, Dubai was under an incredible storm during the last 24 hours, and it was something really difficult to organize in a physical way here in the hub. But with Massimo, with Cristina, we keep this event because we believe that it's important to go ahead and to realize this moment, because it's an important moment for Social Football Summit and for Italiacamp to renovate this partnership, this collaboration that lasted for 3 years ago in Rome. We started Rome, but now we are in Dubai. It's a fantastic moment to work together. But I think that also this event in a virtual mode, in a virtual way, I think that is one of the best qualities of the Italians, you know, because I believe that we have this quality to go beyond all the problems, all the adversities, also the weather like. But we think that sport learn to go ahead and to go beyond all these problems. But let me know that why this day and this event is important for Italiacamp, for the Dubai Hub, for Made in Italy. Sport is one of the pillars we use it also in Dubai, because we believe that sport is one of the most important industrial sector in Italy. 2 days ago, during the event that the ambassador Lorenzo Fanara organized in the Abu Dhabi seat of our ambassador, he said that he used the sports sector like one of the most important sector made in Italy in the world. I think that it's really revolutionary, this kind of choice, and I say thank you also to the ambassador, to the Consul General, that I think that before speak before me. I think that it's important that sport and Italian sport activities can speak to the world, also in this part of the world. You know that we have many important investments in this area, like only an example is Serie A, for example. No, it's one of the most important investment here. But today we will have also partners, clubs that are very important in this area. Juventus, Milan, for example, but also other that made important investment in the Emirates and in this area. And I think that this is one of the trend that will continue in the next 10 years. This is the reason why I hope, Massimo, I hope, Cristina, that this is only the first next summit we organize in Dubai. And we hope that in the next years we will be more lucky than this year under a weather point of view to organize this event. But thank you to all the hosts that have confirmed their presence. It's not something so easy today. So thank you, everybody, and buona fortuna to everybody.
Thank you so much, Leo, and thank you so much, Massimo, for your contribution and dedication to make this event happening today. Without further ado, let's delve into our first panel session. What is very important to notice is that the UAE is really boosting national pride, is boosting health and inclusivity across the board. And this is also fueling the economic growth. And this country is becoming a top spot for sports and tourism entertainment worldwide. At the same time, it's attracting talents all over the world. And the nation's sports mix is getting rich, and it's getting rich of ideas and skills. Now, I would like to introduce to you the first speakers for the panel session. We have Budreya Faisal, CEO of Ghost Concept and President Banaat Football Club. We have Fabrizio Puglisi, founder and CEO of Juventus Academy. We have today with us Greta Nardeschi, Regional Director, MENA, AC Milan. And we have with us today Mohammed Harb, Head of Sports and Gaming at TikTok. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's great to have you all. So I would like to start with a question for Budreya. Budreya, yours is really a story of a vision, a revolutionary project, if we may say so. And it's a dream and intuition built on years of marketing and communication experience that you have. What is the direction that Banaat Football Club is heading in? In general, how do you see the transformation underway in sports in this country, in the UAE?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So Banaat FC, sorry, just the microphone. Yeah, we're good. It's good. So Banaat FC as a new club and the first official club in its capacity in Dubai was launched in only August. So we're a very, very young club. To speak about our future, it's full of optimism and dreams because we're very young and fresh. We've hit quite a few milestones already for this short timeline, but we have very big dreams. And the dreams aren't, I wouldn't say they aren't so out of reach, considering how strong this country represents sports and pushes sports, especially football as the national sport. So seeing how it is a top priority here, obviously when it comes to men's football. We haven't had the interest in women's football as of yet, but I thought now is the perfect time to start a club like this, because we have had women's football actually since 2005 here, and we were very strong back then, especially as a national team. But it was time with the world moving towards so much attention for women's sports altogether. And of course, what we saw with the World Cup, it was time for us to do something to shake things up a little bit here. And there were a lot more, I think, cultural reasons and barriers for the lack of, let's say, fast development or growth of the sport on a club level, which we've decided to build into the DNA of Banaat FC to help kind of change the mindset.
We had some...
I think we have some technical issues.
Yeah.
Just a few seconds and we'll get Budreya back. I asked the team to let me know when we're back. Technical issues when we do virtual events are always around the corner. So now we have Budreya back. Can you hear us, Budreya? She's frozen, so... Okay, so while we wait for Budreya, I can see that Fabrizio is connected. And can you hear me well, Fabrizio?
Yes, I can hear you. And you?
Okay, perfect. Yes, I can hear you very well. So, linked to what Budreya was saying about the transformation of this country, I know you for also my past experience in another brand because we collaborated also together, that you've been in the UAE for about 12 years now. And I would like to understand what you think about the general transformation of this country and also what role does sport play, in your opinion, because there have been key moments really in recent years that have driven this transformation. So I would like to understand your point of view about this.
Thank you, Cristina, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Social Football Summit and also Italiacamp for hosting Juventus Academy and me on this very interesting panel. Yes, I've been living in the UAE for the past 12 years, and I experienced many changes in general in most of the sector of the society. Talking about sports, I witnessed many key moments since we founded the Juventus Academy in 2015 with my friend, business partner, and also chairman Mohamed Rajam, who is currently connected. The first moment that comes into my mind is how the country and the sports community reacted after the difficult COVID period. It took us a few months and many struggles that we all remember. But thanks also to the local authorities, including Dubai Sports Council, the country's sport participation numbers bounced back to close to a pre-pandemic level in such an expected short time. Another key moment has been definitely Expo 2020 Dubai with over 30,000 events contributing to the city's sports legacy. From the greatest athletes to training camps, more than 500,000 participants made Dubai the most active World Expo ever. And among other events, I remember the Italian Sport Days in the Italian Pavilion, where we participated massively with our Juventus Academy and also with our team who is connected also today. Thanks to this step, the football movement is steadily growing up. And since we are talking about sports and transformation, it's impossible not to mention the academies as the most brilliant example of positive transformation, because we are actually generators of emotions, and we must not forget this, especially when it comes to children and their families. And our role as a club in general and coaches in particular is to transform the children life for the better. And the coach-player relationship is the most important one developed in football, because they can have a very powerful impact on their children every single day. And for this reason, with our partners of Dubai Sports Council, we decided to create, organize, and launch the first ever Juventus Academy coaching course workshop outside Europe. And to launch it, we hosted in Dubai two icons like Giorgio Chiellini and Andrea Barzagli, because they perfectly represent the values of sportsmanship and integrity that we would like to share inside and outside the field. To conclude, Juventus Football Club manages the widest academy network of any professional club around the world, and the academy motto is growing up people before players. So I like to think from our side, obviously with the necessary proportions, that we are trying to have a positive impact on the young generation in transforming our community.
Thank you so much, Fabrizio. Now I can see that Budreya is back, and I have another question for her. As women, I would like to understand what's the participation in football among women, because I'd like to understand if there are any challenges also for us women that you see for the coming years when it comes to football.
So for me, as someone who is relatively new to women's football, I think my expectations weren't high, is what I'm going to say, for the numbers of participants or interested parties in women's football when I started. But we did something as simple as putting on a form on our website after we did a cool launch of the club with GQ, and we made it fancy and everything, got people interested.
Nice.
We just put a form online, and to date, I've had 480
Wow.
UAE-based registers, which is great because, and they're from all over the UAE. So I was very surprised to see many names from the Northern Emirates. So from Fujairah, Chelba, Ras Al Khaimah, a lot from there, a lot from Al Ain and Abu Dhabi, more so than Dubai when it comes to Emiratis. But there are a lot of Emirati women that are interested in football, with a lot of barriers stopping them from actually being able to play. The biggest barrier, I'd say, which I don't know if you caught before my freezing bit earlier,
Yeah.
was cultural. So the cultural barrier and families accepting for women to play and for their daughters to
Exactly.
play, that is quite difficult here, and it differs per region. So every emirate has its challenges, and it's changing, and that's what I'm trying to do with Banaat FC, is to actually show them a new way to look at women's football, with the modesty being ingrained in our club, the way that the girls behave and have to behave, whether they're online or offline at any time, if they're connected to the club, because we need to be positive role models, and, like I said, bring people along with us for this change some mindsets. But the interest is massive. We're close to launching, speaking of academies, we're close to launching our own academy. And
Amazing.
I've realized already that we have 50 girls from this month alone, 50 girls that are just waiting for an update on our
Start.
open day. Exactly. And I haven't even properly announced it yet. So it's things are changing. There are a lot more academies popping up. Abu Dhabi is doing great things for women's football. It's mainly been the hub for women's football in the UAE. But if you look at what's happening in Saudi as well, Saudi has
Exactly.
changed. And all it took was a decision and obviously money. But it needs to come from upstairs. A decision needs to come to say, we are now going to invest in women's football. We're now going to support it. We're going to prioritize it. Once that comes, the people will follow. I'm doing things the other way. So until that really comes, we're trying to work our way up and bring people with us.
That's very good. Thank you so much, Budreya. Since we have Mohammed Harb connected from TikTok, I know, Budreya, that you have a partnership with TikTok. So I would like to understand your point of view in terms of visibility. How do you see your values, their values? Why did you guys decided to partner? So then we can also have the perspective of Mohammed to join us in the panel.
So TikTok was a huge milestone for us, having them as a jersey sponsor, a title sponsor, and currently being the only club in the Arab world, I don't know, correct me, Mo, if I'm wrong, but the only club with TikTok on the jersey. I think what it does is delivers a message that the appeal that everyone is seeing online for global women's football, from brands, how everyone has caught on, everyone's interested, everyone's supporting, everyone's invested for commercial reasons as well. But that now also applies here, and that sends a very important message to women's football in the entire Arab region, that the brands are interested, the brands are watching, and the brands are supporting. And if the likes of TikTok are doing it, everyone else needs to catch up. That's my take, and it's actually done a lot for us since we've had it. I mean, you just tell people you have TikTok as a jersey sponsors and they want to talk to you. So it brings on more sponsors. And that was a big part of the strategy, which Mo very much supported. And he's been one of my supporters from day one. I'll tell you that he's believed in me. The second I said, Banaat FC, okay, we're in. So he knew and he saw and he believed from day one. And that's more important than any amount of money any company puts in a brand, because this is exactly the kind of support that women's football needs here now.
Exactly. So, Mohammed, tell us your point of view of this collaboration with Banaat Football Club so we can really see the TikTok perspective about this.
Thank you for hosting me. And Banaat FC represents something that TikTok is always trying to prove, which is in the field of inclusion, diversity, and even empowerment for women. And at the level of football, football brings everybody together, but women football isn't like actually what everybody is looking into or supporting. The sad truth about football, which is the best thing in the universe, is it's men's football at this stage. And TikTok just wanted to actually be faithful to what it represents as to inclusion and diversity and empowering an entrepreneur like Budreya, great initiative like Women's Football Club, and she's exploring more opportunities in the academy wise or like some other initiatives. And we will be there for Budreya and for everybody who believes that football is one way to actually level up or elevate the whole society, right? And why Banaat FC? It's not just because I believe in Budreya. I actually have been trying to push football beyond what we can do just online, like the crazy videos, the great content. It's about empowering the community and going back to what TikTok is. Content and community. If we take care of these two, we can do amazing things. And we're not done yet, to be honest. We're still, as TikTok, exploring what TikTok can do more. TikTok hasn't reached its like zenith or climax into what it can offer back to the community. I'm not talking about the virality or the views or being famous on TikTok. TikTok as a platform still has a lot to offer back to the community, and we're just exploring the tip of the iceberg at this stage. Banaat FC, as Budreya mentioned, at least in the region, and I'm 99% sure we have no endorsement on the jersey as a main sponsor at this stage or as we speak of today, but for Banaat FC, which would give us a privilege to actually be accepted as the sponsors of such a women's initiative and women football. And it's still one of the most or proudest things I've ever done while I've served like some time in TikTok so far. We would love to actually go and put our logo on each jersey all over the world, right? But we've been too selective, and we have our reasons why, which I mentioned earlier on. And it's not about being present on the jersey or as a sponsor for every football club on planet Earth. It's about with whom we're working and what we can actually offer back, not just our brand present and looking cool. It's actually finding the right partner. And Banaat FC was an opportunity to actually partner with the right people who have a vision and who can actually create amazing, as Budreya mentioned, from down upwards, rather than just waiting for one decision or one conclusion about like, let's do something about women's football. We want to be part of the journey going upwards and hopefully sharing the message about what the importance of women's football is, and that to explore also what TikTok can do in football and in women football. We're still exploring it. We're not done yet. As I said, we're still at the tip of the iceberg, and it's a privilege to be recognized as a supporter of football or women football, especially in this region.
Thank you, Mohammed. You just said that you are just at the beginning, right, of this collaboration, so it's just the tip of the iceberg. But can you please tell the audience what kind of content you are creating for TikTok, so to understand really the importance and connection between the two entities?
Sure. So we're just a digital platform. Content comes from our community, from our partners, from everywhere. What we're trying to do is to create that safe environment first, to like a cultural moment depending on football, because our mission is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And what more than football can bring joy to our lives? At least I believe so. Football is the most joyful, most watched, and most followed thing, not even sports, in this world, right? And what we're trying to do is to get that content safeguarded on our platform and presented to the whole more than 1 billion plus users on the platform. On top of that, we're also trying to work closely with the rights holders and the IP owners to also safeguard their content, because I can't just get the exclusive rights of a football match or infringing the rights of a broadcaster on my platform. So I'm working hard to get that content on my platform as safe as it can be and as worthy of a value back to the broadcaster, to the rights holder. That's from one end. The second part is everybody watches through certain platforms via TV in the stadium the full 90 minutes of football. What we're trying to actually bring back to the community or the users or the football fan is what they don't see on pitch or during the 90 minutes. Yes, we have certain deals with big broadcasters, and they are broadcasting every day the leagues in the region and some parts of the world. We have the UAE Pro League always on the platform. You can always watch it. We have the Egyptian League. We have some parts of the Kuwaiti League. The Qatari League is always on the platform. But what can I give back to the community that they haven't seen? And back to what you asked about the tip of the iceberg, we just came back of a new experience, which was great in all aspects. Just last Saturday, in partnership with the UAE Pro League and the Qatar Stars League, and we actually brought the experience to the fans and brought the creators on TikTok to the pitch in the middle of the mix, in the middle of like the whole action, where we had a physical presence on the pitch. Think of it as a studio led by two creators, an Arab-speaking creator, an English-speaking creator, and they actually were not transmitting just the 90 minutes. The 90 minutes was on via the broadcaster accounts or TV or any platform the broadcaster shows. We broadcast more than almost 120 minutes of action with the fans through the creators, empowering them with our technology, with our platform. And the numbers were soared up and were like as high as you can not imagine, actually. And this experience actually committed us to do more of that, bringing more content, different experiences beyond the 90 minutes, especially in football. And we are now like proudly saying that from the UAE and from this gracious land, we have a first global and even sports media and digital platforms, because it has never been done, where you can see creators who were born or endorsed by the platform transmitting more than 120 minutes, commentating, analyzing, interacting with the fans, and later on having the experience with the players, the winner team, the losing team, and all the stakeholders on the pitch, like literally physically on the pitch and via our live function or feature on TikTok. This, I can proudly say, it's the first globally, and it has actually cemented our belief that we can do more and beyond that, and it shall be bigger very soon. We're also exploring some related to Banaat. I'm not sure if it will work out very soon, but it's also bringing the other side of Banaat, or the journey of Banaat, or Banaat FC. It will be something different to give back to the community, to also educate them about women's football, or to actually empower Banaat FC and give them the global reach. TikTok has already proven it has a global impact. It has more than 1 billion users. So imagine the power or the entitlement you can give when you bring a team like Banaat FC and give them a global reach beyond just the UAE, beyond the GCC region. And this is one of the goals I'm personally committed to actually achieve. We have done something in Saudi Arabia for football, not for the top league, but for the lower tiers of that league, where we actually connected that tournament, that league itself, to the US, to Brazil, to some parts of Africa, via certain activations online on TikTok. And that was also another proof that we can actually make an impact beyond the region through football, through our platform.
Yeah, it's all about experimenting, right? To understand what works, what doesn't, and a collaboration with Banaat Football Club, and really experimenting what can lead you to success. It's really the key. Now, I would like to get Greta Nardeschi, Regional Director, MENA AC Milan, also to give us her perspective, because Milan Club was one of the first clubs actually to build commercial relationships and establish roots in this country. And I've seen that this has really created so many activities, so many initiatives, and some of them also, they go beyond what football is. So how Greta is the presence of a club, of a brand, let's say, in this specific territory, such as the UAE, and in this specific case, how you also, as a regional director, fit in this industry?
Fantastic to be with everyone here. Thank you for the organizer, and lovely to be with all the rest of the panelists. Indeed, a proud moment for AC Milan when in November we announced the opening of our offices in Dubai. It was just less than 6 months ago. We have announced the opening of Casa Milan Dubai. A small celebration and a gathering with our partners and government entity representative, which have made it possible. You're absolutely right. We are the first Italian football club to open an office in Dubai. Very proud of it. We like to say that we like to be brave and leaders, and sometimes you need to take that first step. And set the tone for others to follow. I've been personally in Middle East for over nearly 20 years. I've been part of the great evolution and transformation that Fabrizio was mentioning just before. I've been part of the great experience with Expo 2020, and recently joined the fantastic milestone celebration of opening our office here in Dubai. Why and how we fit in has been effectively a bit of a natural growth and a natural evolution for us. Emirates is our sponsor on front jersey, obviously since over 15 years. We're very proud and grateful of an incredible collaboration that makes it today one of the long-lasting sponsorship in the industry of sports and entertainment. A bit of a natural evolution to strengthen that partnership and to really show a commitment to our partners and a commitment to the region to actually invest and open an office, build a team, and start dedicating a day-to-day activity and program to cater and to fit what a partner needs to make effectively the partnership work on both cases. I guess Middle East is obviously since 20 plus years a destination for many businesses. Come get the deal, go, and that's it. But there is a step further that few global brands have decided to commit to, and we are indeed very proud to be the first of the Italian football to have done to have committed to such a length. Obviously, Emirates being the principal sponsor, but we're very lucky since our opening. We actually have celebrated a new partnership, SVI, which is a leading trading platform headquartered in Dubai, is a proud sponsor of our Milan. Sairo is our hospitality partner, the very first hotel inspired to fitness and recovery. A fantastic partnership, and really, I guess, a symbol of what goes beyond the commercial partnership, right? It's not just and always related to a commercial and a money deal. Purpose becomes an incredibly important part of partnership. What's the purpose and what's in it for both parties? It's one of the partnerships that I always go proud of, the one with Sairo, which is part of the Kerzner Group, as you all probably know. It's a fantastic opportunity for the club to collaborate with with an hospitality brand, nurturing and educating and consulting on what means offering recovery and hospitality to hotel guests. So fantastic stories out there that obviously allowed us to tap into what we like being our narrative on the pitch and off the pitch. And I guess that's a big part of the evolution or transformation, as you like to say. I like to call it evolution of the football as a game, as an industry. We are an entertainment media house. We create content which we are incredibly proud to share with the fans all across the globe. 555 million global eyeballs, and a very strong, solid base of 30 million fans in the region. Fans that really, particularly in the region, go from the 65 years old all the way to the younger generation. We are indeed looking at opportunities, exactly as mentioned before, when it comes into supporting youth with academies being built here in Dubai, female and male academy. You'll probably be familiar with obviously the AC Milan women's team and the incredible evolution that has made in the past few years. And we're very lucky to have a new ownership over a year ago now with Redbird Capital that really invested and have decided to invest a lot in women's football. We're going through renovation of facilities. It's exactly like we were saying before, is a decision. And that decision from our leadership has really been made to make sure that women get the same support and the same opportunities.
The same seat at the table, I would say, right?
Absolutely. And, when, as we mentioned just before, when it's something that cascades down from leadership and from ownership, it's obviously something that then sees the light very, very quickly.
I think, Greta, if that's okay with you, I would launch for the audience that is connected online the video of the opening of your offices in Dubai.
Fantastic. By all means, thank you.
Thank you. So thank you so much, Greta. Now, from AC Milan, I just want to go back just to balance the situation of another Italian football team. I want to go back to Fabrizio, because I think it's really interesting to see and to know what Juventus Academy actually do. I know from my past experience, but I would like Fabrizio to give us a bit of an overview of the objective of the academy, what you do today, really to bring this academy to life. I know there is a video, so I think we should play the video first, and then you can answer the question, Fabrizio. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
I think the video speaks for itself, but I would like to hear from you, Fabrizio, what you do in this academy in the UAE,
yes.
please.
Thank you again for the question. As you ask for the objectives, I will say that the objectives are always to have a positive impact on the young generation and to grow year by year by sharing our passion for football in general and for the brand that we proudly represent since 2015. It is impossible to forget that when we had the idea of founding the academy with my friend's business partner and our chairman, Mohammed, we were both peers. We were both Juventus fans, and we rapidly became friends. We actually met through a tweet that was announcing our first Juventus official fan club event in Dubai. So I made this tweet. He was the first one to answer, and here we are after more than 10 years. So since we are talking about this, discussing also about digital transformation in football, I thought it was worth sharing this episode as well. And also, I would like to remind that we started, and I always like to say that because it's true. It's a very powerful episode. We started with 7 registrations, 1 football field, 3 coaches, and 30 balls to pump the day before the inauguration in a prefabricated office adjacent to the training field. So today, after obviously many ups and downs, mistakes, and also incredible moments we spent together, we count on more than 40 professionals that are handling 7 facilities, over 1,000 players every year from 50 nationalities. We hosted Juventus legends such as Chiellini, Barzagli, Giovinco, Trezeguet, Davids. We also participate in the main leagues locally and also internationally, and we won a series of sport awards as Best Academy in the UAE twice and in the Middle East as well twice. So today, our company, FFG Sports Management, runs the biggest football academy in Dubai and the #1 Italian academy for any sport in, I think, in as far as I know and I've heard, in Middle East, in Asia, in Africa, and Australia as well. And this is thanks to a great team that we managed to create over the years, and also to the trust and support of the Juventus headquarters, obviously. So since we are discussing about transformations in football, this is a transformation experience example over the years. But I would like to say that apart from the physical advantage, the active football, so the academy, plays a vital role in nurturing the mental well-being among youngsters. The football teaches a very important life skills like teamwork, communication, leadership, time management. These are all skills that all of us are using on a daily basis. And to answer to your question, after 10 years, our goal is to consolidate our leading position as leading academy in these areas, and to increasing the level of coaching and activities and focusing more and more on the kids' growth. So apart from the brand awareness, apart from the company goals, for the personal growth, we should never forget that the parents of the academy are handing over to us the most important thing, the most valuable thing that they have, their kids.
Yeah.
And we all have this immense responsibility to live up to it, and not only to match, but to overcome their expectation and to nurture their kids' dreams. So this is what I would like to say.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Fabrizio. I think Juventus Academy is a good example of how a local contribution really can fit in also into a global perspective of Juventus. But I would like to hear also from Greta what she thinks about this connection between being local and being global, because I am in marketing communications since over 20 years, and especially I've always been abroad. So I know exactly what it means to do some strategies, local strategies, because we need to understand our target audience, right? We need to understand who we're speaking to. And definitely the Middle East is a very peculiar region. So I'd like to hear from you, your point of view on this, Greta. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Totally aligned. And I always say, in order to be global, a brand needs to be local. You need to be aware of the local market, the local fan base, the local culture, the local beliefs, the local use, the local way, the local lifestyle, if you want to contribute to the global mission of a brand. And that's very much one of the reasons and one of the key reasons why this office came to life. In order to collaborate more with our existing partners, grow the fan base and grow the family of partners, the club has decided to invest in a full-time presence of a team here that knows the intrinsic details of how things really are done, are perceived, are planned over here. Quick examples are obviously coming from what you've seen on that video of our event, all the way to some of the strategies that we've put in place here, just in the past 6 months. A global brand, which we indeed feel we are, cannot come into a market and just impose what the values and what that global brand is, and that's it. It needs to actually be ready, humble, respectful, and collaborate with the local talent to create what the local market needs and support their own activity and their own goals. So it's in that very important tide between being global and local, there is really, I think, the strength of a successful strategy. We have collaborated with local Emirati filmmaker for the production of our campaign for our office launch here in Dubai. It was a female Emirati first film director that was specifically to collaborate with us. I didn't bring the regista or the film director from Milan.
Yeah,
It was a brand to a community that would be just feel like imposed. Let's collaborate with the local talent. I very much welcome opportunity to collaborate with up and coming and established brand, homegrown brand here in the market, here in Middle East, because that's where the power comes all together. We have played with Sarà perché ti amo, the anthem that you all know from our ceremony, and we've actually have Arabized that and put it on the
that's
back
amazing.
with calligraphy artists, which we know how dear that is to the arts and culture of Middle East. It's just find fun and clever ways that tap into different verticals, not necessarily sports and technical focus, but really look at all the different verticals we've got and collaborate with the local market to make it relevant for them. We're planning things to happen next year in Dubai rather than in Milano. And not because we don't love Milano and we don't love our HQ, but it's because it's part of that collaboration, it's part of that partnership, it's part of the promotion of destination and promotion of brands that we feel are really in tunes one another. So I'm a big fan of being local to be global. I believe in glocal as an experiment, as a
word, as a new word. Yes, exactly. We have a video, right, Greta, that I think I'll ask the team to play because it's a very good example, as you just said, it is just described on how local and global have to be very straightly connected together.
Thank you.
Now, the last few questions before we move to the second panel session of today's event. I have one more question for Fabrizio and one for Mohammed. So, Mohammed, we discussed the economical growth and how sport actually is linked to this. I would like to understand a bit more how much can really social media and gaming overall support the growth of interest in football and in sports. And then the question for Fabrizio is also how tourism, sports and entertainment, all this sector can really interact together in this country. So first Mohammed and then Fabrizio. Thank you.
Yes. The dear relation between sports and gaming, and especially recently, this is why you've seen like esports happening and at a competitive level, right? And entertainment that both sports and gaming bring and have in their nature make them both closely connected to each other. And us being a technology platform where you can actually bring everybody from both worlds into that one has offered us the opportunity to explore how we can give back to both worlds or join them in one initiative. I'll give you an example of the Asian Football Cup that just happened in Qatar back in January. There was also an associating event happening there, which is the Asian E-Cup too. And we also worked with the Asian Federation to bring it to the same platform through TikTok as a physical and a digital sort of event. And it was followed by the same people who were watching football in the stadiums in Qatar, and some people who were just gaming fanatics. So the Asian Federation created a whole like stadium experience to bring that to life rather than just like keeping it online. We did the same experiment with CAF, the African Confederation, during their AFCON too. And we were experimenting on bringing the exact uh, tournament into gaming world through eFootball too. Uh, both experiments both showed us the power of gaming and football beyond just the fanatics about gaming and football. It's a cultural, entertaining moment that we can build upon and bring a lot of value back to the community if we endorse it well. This is why even in TikTok we have a whole dedicated line and departments and functions and features just about gaming and live gaming. So we even like created our own live studio, but we handle it within the sports function too because of how dear these two are. And recently we've been endorsing certain gaming tournaments, gaming moments, and empowering also clubs in the sense of esports clubs. And this is where you can see it's not just about the game of football online or the gaming, the e-football stuff. It's other titles in the that are around us. I'll not mention all the fantastic titles, but creating clubs and creating like the experience uh, of a club and a competition and a tournament by actually empowering gamers or gaming content creators and taking it to the level of where sports is organized. That's like actually something that will not be over anytime soon. And it gives value to the community. It gives value to a lot of business opportunities to come into the platform or to the gaming world, and it actually enhances our sports experience. It adds up to how we can actually play around with what sports can be if there is this great mashup between the two words. And from what I do in TikTok, as you notice, like I'm handling sports and gaming hand by hand because we found as TikTok a close relation, and we can take both into the world to the non-enthusiastic about gaming or sports, to the non-fanatics, and this is beyond just cheering for Club X or being in love with Game Y. So creating that cultural moment through our platform by this beautiful mashup is something we are trying harder and harder to bring to life more and to actually explore what opportunities to our partners, to the players, the community we can bring in because to sustain they need like also a source of empowerment beyond just the exposure, the global reach, and this is one mission we are seeking through TikTok.
That's very good. And I just want to go back to Budreya because of this collaboration with TikTok and what she thinks about social media and the importance of social media. And also, if you can share with us and the audience your upcoming objectives for Banaat Football Club.
Sure. So my entire career has been in the football world and mainly in marketing. So my goal throughout my career since I've started has been to elevate the representation of Arab football. So obviously my biggest tool or my biggest platforms here are social media, all different platforms. Started doing it when I was working in the league and then Al Ahli club and then through my own company, Goes Concept, where I managed athletes and helped maybe create some athlete brands for the first time in the region. Which should tell you that I believe social media is extremely important. And I've been in the business of working with clubs and federations, with the brands such as Nike, Adidas, and everyone, and creating campaigns that mainly live on social, or consulting the clubs on their brand image, their branding, their social media. And I think part of, actually, the biggest reason I started this club was through a frustration that I saw on my way back from Egypt, where I was filming a campaign. I saw an account from one of the biggest clubs in the region had posted something in a format that is considered ancient, not following best practices in any way. And I found it to be extremely frustrating that at this level, with this much attention, money, eyes on you, celebrities playing for your club, you're still not doing the basics to represent your club in the best way possible, because image, it's not everything, but it's extremely important. And through that, I felt like, instead of getting frustrated over and over by what the clubs are or are not doing, since I have no control even when I consult with the clubs, that I will create a club that will eventually, for me, and I believe, will become the benchmark of Arab football representation, not specifically for women. I'm trying to build something that will become the benchmark across both, without needing all the biggest resources in the world. Like, you don't need the biggest agencies and budgets and everything to create something that shows the best that this country or this region and the sport has to offer. So if that answers your question, I believe it is extremely important. In fact, all my have to sign contracts that state that they must post 3 times a week about Banaat FC. They must have public social media accounts, which is extremely rare also in this region, to find women, Emirati women with these cultural backgrounds and barriers that I mentioned, that have to be active, because to me, they are the faces and they are the voices and the soldiers for women's football. And this club is bigger than them, and they're here to fight for everyone else to get an opportunity next year. But if they do it behind closed doors and show what they have, no one else is going to follow through. So
exactly, because they become an inspiration, right? So inspirational leaders, and it's very important to have them physically and promoting themselves through a media such as social media. Now, the very last, thank you so much, Budreya. Now, the very last question for Fabrizio. But before we launch a video, and then Fabrizio will tell us a bit more about this connection between tourism, sport, and entertainment.
Thank you. Well, when it comes to tourism and sports, I'm always very excited, because they're not only my 2 passions, but they also represent my main expertise. So I'm super happy to talk about these 2 subjects. It's important, first of all, to define sport tourism. So the act of traveling for the purpose of enjoying sports in one way or another, actively or as a spectator. According to the World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, the sport tourism is one of the fastest growing sector in the travel industry. And according to the World Economic Forum, the sport industry is set to grow 8.7% by 2026 in the Middle East, compared to the 3.3% globally. So as you can see, the sporting events are also a powerful addition to the ambitious tourism strategy in the UAE. Abu Dhabi is hosting some of the most exciting international sports events as part of his leisure and entertainment offering. NBA games, the Abu Dhabi Golf Championship, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Jiu-Jitsu World Championship. They hosted the Special Olympic Games, and also many editions of the FIFA Club World Cup. While Dubai provides a stage for some of the most intense global sporting context. His Excellency Saeed Arab, the Secretary General of the Dubai Sports Council, said that Dubai's status as a major sport destination has been driven by the vision of the leadership of the country, which deeply understands the role of sports, playing the role that sports plays in a growth of a global metropolis. And their strategy is to raise the sports sector contribution to the GDP from 2 to 4% annually by 2033, which is a huge goal. And as a part of this commitment, they also, just to mention a few, they hosted the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championship, the Beach Soccer World Cup that took place a few weeks ago, World Cup Carnival, Government Games, Dubai Desert Classic, and many other relevant football events at junior and senior level. From my point, I'd like to add that the sport tourism market will never stop if new opportunities to play and compete exist. Because the sport tourist spends money by moving to from a place to another, staying in the hotel, eating at the restaurant, shopping in the stores, and also visiting other tourism attractions in the same destination. Talking about your question, Italy, about what can we, let's say, how can we relate UAE and Italy sports tourism? Italy is a sports country with a huge tradition. We successfully play most of the sport, especially football, as you know. We have organized all the major sports competitions, some of them successfully exported in this country, like the wonderful RCS case with the Dubai tour. So if you ask me from my point of view, for a concrete sport and tourism experience between UAE and Italy, I will give you the example of the Juventus training experience, because last week we ended our 7th edition. We brought 95 players and parents in Italy for a week, a full immersion week in the Juventus world. They met the first team players, they trained in Vinovo, they watched the match at the Allianz Stadium, they slept in the J Hotel, they had the Juventus Stadium and Museum tour, and they also discovered the beauty of the first capital of Italy, the city of Turin. So another example is the Juventus Academy World Cup tournament that is organized every year by Juventus Football Club with Juventus academies from all over the world. Last year, as usual, we participate every year. And last year, we were the first team from Asia and the Middle East to win the Juventus Academy World Cup, with over 73 academies from all around the world. And our under-12 team lifted the cup at the Allianz Stadium. So our team was incredibly proud that Dubai has demonstrated its ability to cultivate athletes and champions at a certain level, but not only with the winning teams, because all the teams that we participated with, they were doing very well. So since we are talking about transformations today, yes, we did it. We managed to transform the perception of UAE as a secondary football hub, and put the Dubai flag at the top of the world, the top of the Juventus world, with a very strong interaction with the institution and tourism icons such as the Dubai Sports Council and the Museum of the Future that, as you've seen in the previous video, hosted our winning team and published on their social media accounts about our victory, as long as Dubai Sports Council gave a very relevant coverage to this event. So yeah, this is a very, very strong interaction of sports and tourism between two countries.
Thank you so much, Fabrizio. This was the end of our first panel session for today's event. I would like to thank very much Budreya, Faisal, Greta, Nardeschi, Mohammed Harb, and Fabrizio Puglisi for being with us today. You gave us really a very good perspective and insights of what it means, really a store of transformation, which is the heart of the session today. But now we move to the second panel session, which is going to deep dive into global investments and sports investment across the board. Because we know that with planning and dedication, especially this country, the Middle East, and this country, the UAE, has transformed the sports scene and attracted global investor. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our new speakers for the second panel session. We have Valerio Soldani, Director of Italian Trade Agency. Hi, Valerio. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Michele Napoli, RCS Sports and Events. We have Guido Fienga, CEO of Al Nassr Football Club. And we have Matteo Mantovani, former Executive Director of La Liga and Strategic Consultant at INSEAD. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're very pleased and honored to have you in this panel session and have an overview from each and one of you of what it means, sports investment. Being Italian, I would like to start to understand with Valerio specifically a bit the point of view of Italian companies. So the drivers of change in sports, how can be best supported by Italian companies. But if that's okay with you, before you answer the question, I like to launch a video which is going to give us a bit of an overview of what you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Cristina. And first of all, let me share a huge thank you to Leo Cisotta and Massimo Tucci, Social Football Summit and Italiacamp for hosting this very interesting event, and my fellow panelists. I'm very glad to be here. So you've seen in the video, there's Made in Italy at its essence. So from the heritage to the global trends that we are seeing together with our exporting companies. So the drivers, Cristina, you mentioned are the same that we've seen in the first panel, because we are seeing that Generation Z and young millennials, but also some part of the Generation Alpha, as long as they enter society dynamics and they gain purchasing power, they become a very much diverse, complex, and interesting target for our marketing purpose. So when it comes to the Italian trade agency closely working with our exporting companies, we understand that our target is evolving, and we're seeing a very huge increase in some drivers that are the attention to sustainability, of course, the need of a healthy lifestyle in a holistic approach, and the bigger attention to what it means to have an experience more than a product. So what we believe at the Italian Trade Agency is that the Italian ecosystem is one of the top, let's say, experience providers, not only in terms of great content generators like Greta, Fabrizio, and all the panelists of the previous panel were recalling in their speeches, but also as an industry ecosystem, because we have the fifth global exporters of sports equipment and sports clothing to the United Arab Emirates, which is a huge platform to the whole MENA region. And we are seeing with our companies that these kind of products have the right essence in sharing this kind of experience and providing that. So how are we addressing this kind of drivers? We are doing that by switching to an omni-channel trade promotions. So it's not anymore only trade shows. Of course, we do them. We do one trade show here in Dubai every 2 weeks. There's one here that has been disrupted by the unfortunate weather conditions right now, but we're doing everything from jewelry to fashion to sports to every single sector of Made in Italy. And I think that from that kind of approach, we switched to global partnership like the one with Lega Serie A, RCS, and many other big sports and content platform, together with local retailers, because we are providing to our B2B and B2C channels not only the, let's say, one-way promotion, but the omni-channel promotion through social media, through partnerships, to being present in the very same corners where you are purchasing a product and looking for an experience. So this kind of drivers can only be addressed if you have an holistic approach, and that's what we are doing by evolving our strategy and our day-to-day promotional calendars as the Italian trade agency. There's a huge potential because to conclude this, there's been plus 15% increase in 2023 in exports in this kind of industries to the Emirates market. And it's a faster pace compared to the plus 11% in sales. So the Made in Italy exports are reacting to this kind of drivers in the market at a faster pace. We've seen also in the Italian embassy event a couple of days ago, top Italian brands like Herrera, Technogym, and Colnago, and many others that we help the embassy to bring to the public. And we are trying to assist them in expanding their presence to the Emirates market. So we are here for the companies, we're here for the Emiratis, sportsmen and sportswomen that are willing to understand how Made in Italy can address their needs, and they're willing to have a unique experience.
Thank you so much, Valerio. You mentioned Lega Serie A. So I want to go to Matteo Mantovani, because I know, Matteo, you're working as a consultant for La Liga in Iraq, for example. So can you please tell us a bit more what La Liga is doing in Iraq, and how Iraq is also representing a very important market to reach?
Thank you, Cristina. And first of all, thank you, the organizer, for inviting me to this panel. It's an honor and a pleasure. And yes, till very recently, I was the executive director of La Liga in Iraq and the CEO of the Iraqi Stars League, the equivalent of Serie A in Iraq. But to understand why La Liga had signed a contract in Iraq and why Iraq is such a strategic market, I think it's important to give a quick snapshot what Iraq is and what Iraq represents. So personally, I've been in and out Iraq for the last 15 years, and I'm very bullish on the opportunities of Iraq. So Iraq is a home to 45 million people, and has one of the highest GDP of the MENA region, and has a relatively young population and quite tech savvy. And for the last 7 years, Iraq had been relatively stable, and that had led to massive growth, economical, social, but also infrastructure development. Although still it's lagging behind the neighboring counterpart, but there's great potentials. Also, Iraqi people, they live and breathe football. They watch, argue, and talk about football 24/7. And they discuss about the international team that they support, and 99% of the Iraqi people, I guarantee you, they support or Barcelona or Real Madrid. And that's still the legacy of the dualism of Messi and Ronaldo. Or they support the local team, or they support the Iraqi national team. But football is also unity. And in a country that less than 20 years ago was torn apart by sectarian wars, unity is a crucial features of football. And also football put Iraq on a map recently when they won the Arab Cup, and they proudly hosted in Basra with positive feedback by the international community. So the stability of the country and also the impact that football can have on the society itself pushed La Liga to move in Iraq. So La Liga, a year ago, signed a consultancy contract with the Iraqi Football Association to transform football in Iraq. Quite of a one-of-a-kind project worldwide. because of the scope and the magnitude. So the scope is twofold. There's a top-down approach that basically aims at transforming the professional number 1 and number 2 tiers of the current Iraqi competition. Transform them into, in every single aspect, from the competition, the calendar, to the economic sustainability of the clubs, marketing, sponsorship, but also the audiovisual product, infrastructure development, and also technology. So every single aspect of football in Iraq is going to be transformed to make it at par with the European benchmark. The goal is to create a professional football product that is credible, trusted, that maximizes entertainment, but also is self-sustainable. The second pillar is a bottom-up, and tackles the young generation. So basically the goal is to shape and form the future generation of football players in Iraq on a 360 approach. Their technique, their tactics, but also their mindset, their nutrition, their fitness. So every single aspect of their football life has to be shaped based on the best practices we have in Europe. So the main goal of this project transcends football. So football is seen as a catalyst for La Liga, is seen as a catalyst for a broader impact. So if you look at football, can be used as a lever to educational improvement, but also health improvement, but also cohesion. And all this aspect of the social life in Iraq can be improved through football. And that's why La Liga is there, to create a positive impact to a country that's been kind of forgotten by luck and the media coverage in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Matteo. You definitely described the situation in Iraq and what La Liga is doing over there. But thinking about how experiential is very important when it comes to sport, but when it comes to any activity, I would like to ask Michele Napoli, CEO of RCS Sports and Event DMCC, what are the opportunities when it comes to sports and events, and which event do you see the most interest from the people exactly in this industry?
Hello everybody, morning. First of all, I want to say thank you to hosting me and the company RCS Sports and Event DMCC, to all the organizers. I'm really excited to be here and be part of this panel. Related to your question about what are the opportunities and the most interest from people, let me say that what I can say with experience that I had and still have in the country, we are now in a new phase. In my opinion, we are in a new phase of the economical development and sport industry in this country. Because as you know, a lot of us knows that the sport business and the events, sport events started to be hosted here in order to, let me say, to put Dubai and the region in the world and the world map of the sport, and give exposure and visibility to the country and the city. Now probably we are facing a new phase that is a period where what they are trying to do and what I'm feeling is that the events and sport events, they will be the reason to create a positive economical impact and a big legacy in the country. I'm trying to explain better. I'm thinking that now is important for the region to host events where there is the chance really to have spectators and to have foreign spectators coming to the country and giving a positive economical impact to the country. And not like in the past where there was just the chance, let me say, to host a sport events in order to broadcast the event and show to the world where was Dubai or where was the Abu Dhabi. Now we are doing, let me say, we are in this moment, and what I can say that is important to, and the opportunities are related to important, let me say, sport events, but competition. I'm not feeling that we are in a period where it is important to have, like I'm saying, exhibition, okay? But very important event, international event and competition event, official events, let me say, or local event where you can have the chance to have like mass events, where you have the chance for the community to participate, we are the organizer on behalf of Abu Dhabi Sport Council. The Abu Dhabi Marathon, no, is just an example. But what you can see living in the region and in the city is that every weekend in Al Qudra cycling track is full of people that are trying to ride or bike, and then is a new trend, no? And then what I'm feeling is that the new opportunities are related to this new trend, that is the practice of some sports like running, cycling, triathlon, or this kind of sports. Most of them are related to another concept that is an important concept, that is related to the wellness and healthy, you know. And then, my opinion, we have these two big opportunities. The first one is related to official and international big events, and the second one, it could be related to local events, but for mass events and more related to the practice of sports and the healthy and wellness lifestyle.
Thank you so much, Michele. Now I would like to have the point of view of the CEO of Al Nassr Football Club, Guido Fienga, to understand what's happening at the club. We know that you have been the CEO of Al Nassr for a few months now, and I would like to understand what the club is doing, what's happening over there, and how do you see the development project of Arab football, please? Thank you.
Hello. First of all, sorry if I just connected by the guard, but you know, due to all the mess that happened.
Yes, situation is a bit difficult in Dubai. Yes.
Yeah. I know that I'm in Riyadh now because I can have the chance to take a flight, and I want to say shout out to everyone. So yes, I'm the CEO of Al Nassr now. It's I think 8 months. You know,
technical
it's enough to make, you know, at least a first assessment of what's going on here. First of all, what is SPL after 1 year? And SPL is probably the first championship organized in Middle East that is having a worldwide audience. In particular, in a vast region, so in Middle East, probably became the first product. So now in Saudi, but also in UAE, in Qatar. So in all the countries of Middle East that are all football countries, I agree that you know, this is a football elite passionately, like in Italy, even more than Europe sometimes. Everyone follow the Saudi league. But then in the growth that has been registered is really incredible in other areas, like in North African country, in Western African country, and in Asia, where SPL became the second product in terms of championship, of the third if you consider the Champions League. But Champions League is more seasonal and raised the interest just from the 8 at the stage of 8 or the stage of 16. So this means that SPL now is followed from a region that is 3.5 billion people, obviously not overlapped by the European one, that are much less but much rich, but much rich. This is SPL now. Then what is Al Nassr now? Al Nassr, this is the ranking that we just raised 1 week ago, became the 18 club more followed in the digital media as a consolidated digital platform. If we just consider Instagram is the number 11. And respect this number, the number of Saudi fans are less than 4%. So this means that Al Nassr is a real international club, an international audience. Obviously, this is mainly thanks to...
We have some technical issues. I guess connection is.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, but you're frozen. Try again, Guido. Yes, you should be back.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
No, sorry. Do you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay, so while we establish the connection with Guido, I'd like to go back to Valerio. So since he spoke about Guido Nassr Football Club, now I would like to have your perspective of what's the relationship between the Italian Trade Agency and Lega Serie A. So how can really this collaboration proceed, and how you promote football and made in Italy in general?
Thank you, Cristina. So this is part of that holistic approach and that omni-channel promotion strategy that I was talking about. We've been having this kind of partnership with a major Italian sports platform, and Lega Serie A is one of them. Right now, if you follow our social media channels, not only the Italian Trade Agency in Dubai, but for example, the Italian Trade Agency YouTube channels, we teamed up with all the 20 clubs in the Lega Serie A to build videos that tap into the Italian industrial districts that make Made in Italy possible. So you will see champions like Radio Dragusin from Genoa Football Club, or Leao from AC Milan, or Paulo Dybala from AS Roma, just narrating not only their experience, but also tapping into the local districts and giving a glance of the agri-food or yachting industry or fashion ecosystem in Milan, and many more experiences. So this kind of format really meets the kind of content that is now going to be channeled to these very new target segments that are really more focused on consuming content that is relevant, that has got a specific identity and experience, and that is able to provide a great quality content in a short amount of time. So we are reaching out to more than 500 million potential audience. And we've seen that also with the national branding campaign that the Italian Trade Agency and Ministry of Foreign Affairs made for promoting Made in Italy on several offline and online channels during 2023. And it is part of that kind of effort that it's really giving a big spotlight from the consumer side. And this is very important because football and sports in general are a huge platform to reach out to the end customer and to this new generation that I was mentioning, that everybody was mentioning when it comes to content, to evolving also the content from the 90 minutes of the football match into providing that kind of experience to women, men, and kids, and growing that kind of customer that will be more sensitive to the Made in Italy value proposition. That is because we, as the Italian, one of the major exporting countries in the world, if you take 5,000 Italian products, from olive oil to clothing, fashion to technology, 20% of them, it's ranking in the very first 1, 2, 3 places in the world in terms of added value. It means that we are a huge transforming country that are taking a raw material and delivering great products and great experience to the customer. That kind of products needs to be told and explained to the customers, because it's not only the experience, it's also the kind of merge of experiencing the heritage we have when it comes to history, to the actual and current challenges that we are facing in terms of sustainability and healthy demand from the customer side. So with this kind of platform and partnerships, we are able to deliver the kind of message and give a powerful experience to our end customers that will be finding the products and the companies that we are showcasing in trade shows, retail partnership, sales stores and shops and Dubai malls and many other places where you can find the Made in Italy excellence in the Emirates and the Middle East.
Thank you so much, Valerio. Now that we have Guido back, Guido, can you hear us?
Yes, sorry, I had a problem with the
Don't worry.
connection.
So, if you want to finish.
So just to complete the concept, so Al Nassr became the international club, and in an international championship that has been built. So this allow me to say some consideration. First of all, SPI is not a championship in competition with European football because it's looking to totally different target. SPL now became a real platform for distributing a content that is an audience, is requested by the market, and here the idea is that this project will support the overall growth of the audience and the capacity of attraction of foreign people to enjoy all the investment that has been done in Saudi, and second, to prepare the best environment to host the World Cup in 2034, so in 10 years' time. So basically, this means that first of all, it's not sport washing, because there is an industrial project behind, and second, cannot be a bubble because at least must be a bubble of 10 years, so not a bubble. This is just to avoid the many misperception that when I come back in Europe, I receive the respect, which is the real nature of a project that obviously is many doubts. Then the level of the Saudi football still is a level not at the same stage of what is the professional football in Europe. The approach that the Saudi had has been very violent because they start from buying all the marquee players that they've been able to buy in order to immediately transform a championship that already existed since 80 years in a global championship. But now they need to feed the gap between the perception that you create on the pitch of an international product and the environment that still is a very local product in terms of infrastructure, in terms of youth sector, in terms of medical and training facility and methodology. They want to feed this gap soon. This is the reason why they start to buy players, but then they bought also managers and experts, and they try to put on track all these, how they do in Saudi. So when a project became a country project inside the vision of transforming this country, this the Vision 2030, all the project go under the direction of PIF, that is the sovereign fund. That is one is the let's say the holding that overview the realization of all the projects that are not just important projects, that are project pillar of the realization of the vision. This is the reason why in July the top 4 club, so the one that theoretically represent the large majority of the funds, became PIF club. So they moved from an ownership that was a public ownership of the Ministry of Sport to an ownership that they call private ownership, that is PIF. Even PIF is a public fund. And to do that, they realize a special agreement with FIFA to pass the problem of the single ownership of multi-club competing in the same competition, with a very unique and strong governance that segregate all the level of the access to the information to PIF, giving lots of responsibility to the manager that act, based on a governance, but obviously with more power than normally what a CEO has in a club in Europe, where you have a normal ownership. So this is, in a 3 minutes interrupted,
In a nutshell, but thank you so much. That was very insightful. Which lead me now to Matteo, back to Matteo again, because Guido spoke about international professional coming to the Middle East, right? So, but we know we also have local and international professionals and entities involved across the board. So do you think there is anything lacking in terms of skills in this country specifically?
I don't think it's just skills are lacking. Look, sometimes when I look at Middle Eastern football, it feels like Middle East is trying to catch a running train. And the Middle East wants to have a say and compete on an international level, but there is a gap to be bridged. And what I experience is that Middle East, socially, culturally, and technically, is really trying to adapt to a system that was created, designed, and perfected by Western stakeholders. So I give you an example, like in the transformation that I was part in Iraq, a million of the issues we faced, but one of them could be, it was like the governance of the clubs, and maybe it's not just Iraqi problem, it's just a regional problem. I don't know if the other stakeholders, the panelists can relate to. But sometimes the consecutive power inside a club is intertwined with the political power of the country itself. And that makes changes at the level that Iraq wants to have, or at least or the scale that they need to happen, very difficult and very lengthy. So, and that impact the transformation and the timeline of that, the goal that there was the original scope and the transformation and the objectives that were set. And Middle East is facing that. And it's a process that will take time. There will be mistakes. But I think Middle East is on the right track. And when it comes to skills, if I look at what I experienced and saw in Iraq is full of raw talent, but there are not the infrastructure. And there is no competition when they can really shine on an international level.
Thank you so much, Matteo. Now, going back to events, I'd like to ask a question to Michele, which is about red tape, bureaucracy, and relations with institution. So what is the current scenario for those working in the UAE? But before you answer this question, Michele, I'd like the team to launch a video, please. Michele, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. As you saw in our video, our company has a long tradition, and as you know, we are based in Italy. Our group, RCS Media Group, is a famous publisher in the arena. Then from this side, I can say that the local authorities, in particular like Dubai Sport Council, Abu Dhabi Sport Council, they gave us all the support in order to develop here our company and develop for them, and thanks to them and with them all the events that you saw before. Then what I can say is that I can suggest or I can share to all the other companies that all around the world the fact that here it's very easy, and there is a lot of support from the local authorities, and it's very let me say helpful. They are giving us a lot of help, but it's very important to understand that we need to follow the rules that there are in the country. Then it's from one side, it's very easy to open a company or to have permits and to have all these aspects from bureaucracy. From the other side, it's very important to follow all the rules that are here in the region. And I'm thinking that just doing this is very easy for a company work in this region.
Thank you so much, Michele. Now, Valerio, I have one more question for you, which I would like to understand your perspective with regards to the main products and services in sports and football sectors that Italian companies want to offer to enter the market in the UAE. If you can give us a bit of an overview about that, that would be really great.
Sure. It's a very good question. As my office, out of the 78 offices of the ITA worldwide, it's number 2 in terms of number of companies served. So dealing with all these entrepreneurs, I think there are 3, maybe 4 big opportunities in the market of the United Arab Emirates right now. So the first one, of course, is sports equipment. We've seen a huge increase in sales exports after COVID. So after the 2020 pandemic, sales went up plus 30%, which is a very good number, which means that a local market is very responsive because sales are growing generally, but our market share is still very big because Italy's got a 48% market share in sports equipment, which is a lot. If you think that it's about 20 times the average market share we have, like globally, like being product agnostic. So this is the biggest opportunity. But of course, having that kind of holistic approach when it comes to made in Italy, we have much more to offer. So for example, technical clothing in sports, not only football, but also biking, also running, and all the sports that are big and hot in the market right now. We've seen a big increase in the last year, plus 22% in exports, which is more than double the increase we see generally, because the Italian exports to the UAE grew 10.5%. So this is a faster pace in this sector. But I think there is also a very big opportunity in fashion when it comes to athleisure, when it comes to delivering that kind of message of quality in the everyday life. And of course, since everybody brought the health topic, how the millennials, late millennials, young millennials, generations that this new generation are dealing with sports in terms of having an healthy lifestyle, delivering a positive image of themselves. Well, I think that Made in Italy has a lot to say because our food exports are growing, our lifestyle related from jewelry to accessories to fashion to athleisure, and everything is growing. So I think we can deliver also an omni-channel and holistic message on how Italy is a relevant partner in terms of product lifestyle in general when it comes to the new people that this country will adopt. And of course, we'll be seeing in the next 5 years a plus 10% increase in the local population here. Most of them will have a purchasing power and a lifestyle that is really matching with the companies, what the Italian companies are delivering in terms of corporate message, products, and lifestyle to this market. So I think that these are the biggest opportunities we're seeing, and of course we are supporting actively Italian companies and our Emirati friends and business players to get this kind of business growing and get the message out there.
Thank you, Valerio. Now, Guido, you know that there are important productive sectors such as tourism, innovation, entertainment, infrastructure. I'd like to understand what tools are being used to achieve this development in this region, and how do you see also the situation in Italy instead?
Okay, let's start from the region. By the way, the situation in the region is very different between country and country, because you move from Qatar that just host a sport, the World Cup, where now they have probably the best sport infrastructure to host whatever event. Maybe the problem is that after the World Cup, they can have even too much infrastructure for their capacity to organize events. UAE, that probably has good infrastructure for some events, little less for other events. For example, for football, there is just a couple of stadiums that are at the level of a top football event, and Saudi, where they have the events because they have the Saudi League, and probably they are very much in late with the development of the infrastructure. So in this moment, there is not a real optimization between where there are the infrastructure and where there are the events. This is if we talk about football. If we talk about other events, not, because as you know, Saudi give a strong acceleration of all the investment in properties of sport and organizing events in order to promote Saudi. I don't want to say put Saudi on the map, because Saudi Arabia is already on the map, but put many infrastructure and investment on the map. So everything related to fighting sport that has a huge audience now became central for Saudi. Tennis is growing a lot. Golf, everyone knows, the huge investment that the Saudi made that also creates some diplomatic accident with Americans. And this obviously goes in parallel with investment that they are realizing, like Qiddiya, that is this new big city just dedicated to sport and entertainment. Qiddiya is a city that should be, in their plan, close to 1 million inhabitant city, 80 kilometers far from Riyadh, and where it's supposed that the two main clubs, so Al Nassr and Hilal, will move to play stable when Qiddiya Stadium will be realized. But more than Qiddiya, there is Red Sea. Red Sea is this incredible resort. I think way better than Maldives area of resource. Way better Maldives. That now just close contracts to host sports and entertainment events with the GAA, that is the General Entertainment Authority, that is the one that is now maintaining the budget of all the sports entertainment events apart football. Then there is NEOM. NEOM create a specific division that is NEOM Sports and Entertainment, exactly to activate the investment through sport and entertainment. So the model is almost clear. So this is in particular in Saudi, a country where they are building entire cities, a new model of lifestyle and living, and they want to activate this through some tools, and the main important one is one of entertainment and sport. The comparison with Italy is dramatic, obviously, because I'm just talking about my experience. That when I was a CEO of AS Roma, I think that I spent 8 years of my life to try to convince a city that we need a proper stadium for the city, that is at the moment decided also to promote himself to host European Cup. We even found the place where built the city and the money, all money, private money, and all private money coming from abroad. And at the end, the city rejected after 8 years of cost, the city rejected. Now they start a new process, and the process is going more or less, even if, for something better, but more or less like the process that I knew. So, which is the main difference? The main difference is that we are in a region, in particular, Sadi is the engine of this region, but all this region, where they believe in the development of the society through the development of infrastructure and the promotion of the infrastructure to the development of sport and entertainment event and properties. And they believe that sport entertainment can increase the GDP. Rather than in Italy is totally the opposite. It's not an environment anymore business friendly. The environment reject whatever investment in infrastructure can be proposed with whatever bureaucratic excuse we can use, but in my experience, I can just name 100 of problem. Always to respect because green, because gender, because whatever. But at the end, the project has been rejected with all the money, and nothing happened. And we continue to leverage on sports entertainment event. Without understanding that without the proper development infrastructure and of a proper strategy, our events that were international events, because Serie A was an international product, became domestic product. So lost lots of interest and means and also lots of value. So now, among many of the, and sorry, I'm telling this with quite a good knowledge because I sold the rights of Serie A even in UAE, so I know which are now the numbers of the audience that we are raising, and are not spectacular. So now we have really few events in Italy that still are international events. Probably one is Giro d'Italia. And this is not just because a lack of strategic management of the event. This is because the lack of infrastructure that gave a strong limitation of the development of this bridge. So the main difference is that we are doing two different games. One is a development game, and the other one is a, let's say, maintaining, destroying game of a previous better market position.
Thank you so much, Guido. Now, before we come to the end of this second panel session and the end of the event, I still have a couple of questions, one for Matteo and one for Michele. So Guido spoke, Matteo, about the development of football. I want to understand from you if you have anything else to add regarding the development of football in the Middle East, and how do you think, and if you think, that there will be generally competitive and attractive leagues in the coming years?
Yes. So being part of La Liga, I could really witness the frenzy and the push to use football as a magnet for investment, coverage, and also fuel up the national pride. So activation, partnership, bilateral agreements, whether with federation to federation or club to club, they're all action aim at growing football regionally, whether it was for investment or just capability building. But the aim was always to grow football regionally. So a few years ago, we would have sat and discussed about having a summit about professional football in Middle East. Probably we would have been laughed at. But now we are here discussing about football in UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Iraq, about their results, their investment, and the way they role model some of the part of football. And that's as a testament of the road that the region had taken toward competitiveness and attractiveness. And different countries are adopting different strategies. Like Iraq is pushing on a complete reshuffle with no massive investment to create a sustainable product. Like something less violent, as Guido mentioned before, than Saudi. But all these approaches are really aimed at growing the football regionally. So the road is long and is a bit bumpy, but I see we are on the right track to create something competitive and worthy.
Thank you so much, Matteo. Now, Michele, the last question is actually for you. I'd like to know what you think about international competition in the sports event sector.
Let me start from what Guido was saying, because I'm thinking that the competition and sport events competition all around the world could have the influence from many and different and several factors. First one, as Guido was saying, infrastructure. Then what I'm going to think, I totally agree with Guido what he's saying, that we are playing two different games in different parts of the world, because now, as you know, sport events, international, global sport events are really a huge product. We can consider this like a big ecosystem, not just a sport, just not an event. No, it's not just one day event. But there is an ecosystem around all these international sport events. Then if I'm thinking these are related to infrastructure, the number of countries that can host the big event like Olympic Games or something like that, they are going to decrease. They are going to reduce. No, we cannot say that all around the world, all the countries can host like an event like a World Cup or again, Olympic Games. And then my perception is that the competition is going to decrease for this factor, for other factors in a few countries or less countries than in the past. Because if you are going also to think about infrastructure related to hotel accommodation, transportation, all these factors and aspects, you can imagine that really there are now few countries that can host these big events. And from the other side, let me say that we are going to face a period. Everybody are talking about the climate change, but it's true. If we are going to think what is going to, I saw this survey from the International Ski Federation saying that probably from 2040 there will be just few countries that can host the FIS World Cup or like events on ski. Then in my opinion, what we are going to see in the next few years is that the competition will will be going to decrease, and just let me say for the big and huge events, international sport events, there will be just few opportunities all around the world for the countries to host. But at the same, what we can say that as we were talking before, the sport events are always the chance to the countries to give exposure to the country, to create legacy and to create economical and positive impact. Then I'm thinking this, the number of the country that could host the big events, they will reduce, but there will be always interest on hosting these big events.
Thank you so much, Michele. So we reached the end of this very insightful event, and I want to express my gratitude to all our esteemed speakers, to His Excellency also the Consul General of Italy in Dubai, the organizers for their invaluable contribution and their active participation. Today, we've really explored inspiring stories, background, and experiences of what sport transformation means. And we discussed opportunities also and challenges on how this can be developed into the dynamic sports industry. So let's really carry forward the momentum generated here today in Dubai and leverage also our collective insights and network to drive this continued growth. Before we say goodbye, mark your calendar, because we have the 19th and 20th of November, which is going to be the 7th editions of the Social Football Summit in Rome. So we look forward to welcoming you in Italy, and thank you so much. Goodbye and arrivederci. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.